Either. I'm not a cop and I'm not a cop killer. In music, you portray characters. The character wrote in the
I'm switching gears here. This is a sadder story, or it's a report. So right now there are rumors and alleged reports circulating that Irv Gotti, who I know is a friend to the room, is currently on life support. Now, this, from what is being alleged, is because of a stroke that he had that left him on the life support situation. And there have been a couple people that have just spoke out and just are sending him prayers right now. We don't have details. We don't have confirmation of anything, but we do know that Russell Simmons posted and talked about, he spoke to Irv not too long ago and gave him the number to a person that he wanted him to talk to about his health. He agreed that he needed the attention. He promised that he would come over to the resort
Bali.
Yeah, the Bali, where Russell Simmons is, and a lot of people go there for health and wellness and undergo some tests and begin natural and medical treatments. So he said that I promised him if he came that he would, get better. So obviously Irv has been dealing with some stuff, and we know that the last time we saw him, it was when he was, walking on that cane, and there were reports about a stroke then. So Russell Simmons and a few other people are sending some love. We're sending love and just, praying for the best.
Health is wealth, man. Take care of yourself, people.
And we was talking, me and Charlamagne was talking. He's Irv is one of those ones, Mike Geronimo, Ja Rule, Ashanti. DMX, he was the one that helped DMX in his career. Even Jay-Z helped Jay in his career when he was needed. Produced Can I Live? So he's definitely one of those ones. Started off for DJ. Yeah, he sure did. DJ from Queens, DJ Irv. So definitely
all the prayer warriors
to
gather around and send it up for him.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that was.
Salute, and welcome to the studio, Goodbreads. How y'all feeling? We back at the studio. We ain't been in the studio for a while, right? Well, salute and come on in, guys. Welcome to the Mr.Goodbread Reaction Channel, where we learn how not to be a dummy from some well-paid dummies. We watch, study, and follow the stars and celebrities so we know how the broke folks in our community is going to behave, guys. So salute to y'all. Come on in. We got a crazy one today. 50 Cent reacts to Irv Gotti on life support rumors and being in a vegetable state, guys. Now, it's not confirmed from anywhere. We just got little tad bits of sources from sources coming out, little bits and pieces coming out. Y'all heard that was just what was that? Power 105. That was them reporting on it, and it's just reports. The family have not confirmed anything yet, but we already know his arch rival 50 Cent, he already jumped to it. So let's get straight to what 50 Cent had to say about it. So yesterday 50 Cent responded. He posted a picture of Irv Gotti on life support, friends and family saying their goodbyes. And you see up underneath, 50 Cent said, "Damn, I wanted him to see my new shows, yo." Now, a lot of people like, oh, that's wrong. Ruthless, 50 Cent ruthless. But y'all got to understand the beef between these two men, the beef between them two is deep. It is deep, guys. So you can't judge how 50 Cent choose to handle the disrespect. You can't judge that, guys. And a lot of us, we tolerate foolishness. And we praise and we have so much sympathy for the people that put us through so much. So a lot of us is raised like that. So we want 50 Cent to feel sorry for Irv Gotti, but 50 Cent, he don't feel sorry for Irv Gotti. We're going to get to all of that today. We're going to talk about it. We're going to go over that. We're going to relive that whole rap beef, because that was when rap was rap. That was when hip-hop was hip-hop. I don't care what you tell me. That was music right there. But we're going to talk about it all today. But a lot of you, I know y'all have that sympathy bug in you, and I'm not saying it's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Don't judge 50. That's all I'm saying. You could feel sorry for Irv, or you want to, but don't judge 50. So let's get straight on into it, guys. You know what I mean? This is around the last time we saw Irv up and healthy.
See you later.
I love everybody in here.
We love you
So,
too.
love you too, you know,
Nah, I don't love you. Nah.
y'all know, Nene is special to me. Yeah. And y'all know how I feel about Poppy. Yes. I know he's floating around in there.
Oh, he's here with us.
He's hanging. He's here with us. And he's staying. I know Mackie's floating around.
He's here with us.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? I miss him. Don't stop. I miss Poppy so much.
Yeah, we all do.
So the last love I'm gonna say is my children. Like Sonny, JJ, and Angie. I can't love my kids harder than I love them. You know what I'm saying? And I may be fucking up a little bit because they get whatever they want. Like whatever they want, they gonna get. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep getting this money so I can keep giving them whatever the fuck they want.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right? And I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna give LC some love his birthday. Happy birthday. And it's my youngest, my boy.
JJ!
My boy who really, he's the one who's with me everywhere. He's the one who's staying to be in all honesty. This is my guy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So happy birthday, and I just want to make you happy. I want you to be happy. You know what I'm saying? Let's give him something that's gonna make him happy.
Yes, sir. Now they saying that Irv Gotti is in a vegetable state, y'all. He was spotted walking over the cane. He was spotted. And it's not looking good right now, guys. It's not looking good for Irv.
Hey you guys, so it's being alleged by Storm Monroe that Irv Gotti is in the hospital on life support in a vegetative state. So allegedly he had 3 strokes and had a brain bleed. Now prior to these strokes, it was alleged that he had a stroke last year and was also dealing with diabetes. Now, Irv Gotti started the label Murder Inc. in 1998. Now, this label housed some of your favorite artists like Charlie Baltimore, Lloyd, Ashanti, and Ja Rule. I mean, this is the reason we have Ashanti. It's because of Irv Gotti and Murder Inc. Now, this label lasted a few years, but it kind of all came down in shambles because of bad management, and Irv Gotti and his brother ended up getting money laundering charges from the feds. Now, even though all that happened, they end up beating these charges, y'all. And y'all know that if you get indicted by the feds, you pretty much are done. You have a very small chance of beating that charge. Well, they beat the charges and they were acquitted. But the damage was pretty much already done because he had already fallen off with Ashanti, Ja Rule, again, going back to bad management. And it didn't help that he started allegedly having an affair with his artist Ashanti while he was married to his wife. Now, while Ashanti is denying this, people are not buying it. These two allegedly had a love affair going on for years. Ashanti got some sense and she moved on to Nelly, who would eventually be her husband years later. Now, when this happened, Irv felt so betrayed by Ashanti. He felt like she stabbed him in the back. And even though this happened over 20 years ago, you could tell that he was still hurt by the situation, even from just a few years back.
Back. So, Gotti, did you know that you put Ashanti and Nelly back together?
I want to touch on this.
Yes.
Right? Because you don't know something.
I don't know nothing.
I was heated.
Okay.
Yeah, we noticed.
He was like cracking jokes, basically saying, you still got feelings for this girl.
Yeah,
Problem was, you validated to the world like I still had feelings for this girl.
Yeah, I said that, yes.
I don't, like, she's done.
All right.
She's
But you know what? Some women, they just leave an impression on your heart forever. And it seems like Ashanti was that girl for him. But I want you guys to please keep him and his family in your prayers. Now, the family has not spoken out about any of this. Again, these are allegations from Storm Monroe. But please keep his family in your prayers. Please keep him in your prayers, because we know miracles can happen. And Jamie Foxx is a testimony to that.
Man, yo, man, that's right, yo, Flavor. Guys got to get their soul clean. It's time to get your soul clean, man. Adultery is adultery. I don't want to go left on this live stream, but adultery is adultery. And who am I to say? This is why me personally, I don't go around judging people for how they feel and react to disrespect. And I don't go around feeling sorry for people, because you never know what people put themselves through to earn their suffering, to earn their misery. I mean, you had a wife, you're cuffing Ashanti, you're mad because Ashanti doing her thing, but you got a wife. That can't be morally right. You know what I mean? But who am I to judge? I'm not saying 50 is right or wrong, because that is ruthless, though. For 50 to respond like, damn, I wanted him to see my new shows. Only 50, yo, only 50. But guys, let's get into why 50 would respond like that. Like, why would he put that at a time like this? Everybody mourning, and 50 go and put that. Only 50, yo.
I'll tell you personally, the people that you see like Irv, Ja, the people that are involved in the business aspect, it's like these don't got no hood in them. How do you get in all at one time? You make everybody that you feel like is somebody go, who's 50 Cent?
Ja Rule would have been dead, because either me or 50 gonna squeeze. You come running in the studio like that, we gonna squeeze. So they had God on their side. So I swear on my dead father.
Again, a lot of y'all might not know that they joint deep, yo. They got real street beef. Like, they got real in the street heat. Like, y'all could have been crying for 50 Cent right now, because 50 Cent could have been gone. He could have been gone. This is why 50 don't care. 50 don't care. At this point, 50 do not care.
Ja Rule would have been dead. Chris Gotti, all of them that ran in it, they would have been dead.
Maybe Satan saved him, because he's a great engine of chaos. I don't think God would save somebody who moves like that. Everything you think of 50 is just negative. He's just an engine of negativity, beef, chaos.
In the music industry, one piece of advice that many swear by is this: don't get on 50 Cent's bad side. And they're not wrong. Plenty of people have learned this lesson the hard way, one of them being Irv Gotti.
So I swear on my dead father, Ja Rule would have been dead. Chris Gotti, all of them that ran in it, they would have been dead.
And what's wild is that this all went down when 50 Cent was just an up-and-coming rapper, while Irv Gotti was already a big-name CEO running Inc. with their star artist Ja Rule. But 50 didn't care about any of that. He went straight for their throats, and their beef turned into one of the most brutal feuds in hip-hop history.
I'll tell you personally, the people that you see like Irv, Ja, the people that are involved in the business aspect, it's like these don't got no hood in them.
The drama had everything: diss tracks, street fights, and allegations flying back and forth. For example, there's the time Irv Gotti and his crew went looking for 50, trying to stir up trouble. According to Tony Yayo, Irv Gotti and his men were lucky to walk away that day, and he even said it was divine intervention that saved them. Yayo claimed that things could have ended a lot worse for Irv and his crew.
Ja Rule would have been dead, because either me or 50 squeeze. You come running in the studio like that, we gonna squeeze. So they had God on their side. So I swear on my dead father, Ja Rule would have been dead. Chris Gotti, all of them that ran in it, they would have been dead.
Of course, Irv and his camp spun their own version of events. They claimed they'd beat 50 down and stabbed him, even going as far as to say that 50 filed a restraining order against them, calling him a snitch.
If you talk to me about 50 in this case, I'm gonna say he been talking to the police. He's been talking.
It wasn't nothing crazy. It was nothing big. It was just a little scuffle.
Uh-oh.
It was nothing big.
Yes, sir.
but he felt the need, to go to the cops and press charges. Mr. Jackson, that as a result of the above described conduct, informant suffered lacerations. Informant, y'all. Informant suffered.
But that wasn't the case. Yes, 50 got injured, but it was more of a scratch than the serious stabbing they tried to make it out to be.
50 got stabbed that day, right? He didn't get stabbed, right?
Shut the fuck up with that.
Okay. He got cut.
Had a scratch.
He got cut.
They called it a stabbing and it sounded more graphic than it actually was. So I used a butter knife. I had 3 stitches. It's a scratch.
Then there's the infamous shooting. 50 Cent getting shot 9 times is one of hip-hop's most talked about stories. While the main culprit behind the attack was Supreme McGriff, a notorious figure in the streets, people couldn't help but speculate that Irv Gotti might have had a hand in it. Why? Well, Irv and Supreme were tight, so the idea of Irv being involved didn't seem too far-fetched. Plus, Irv didn't do himself any favors when he made a comment saying it must have been Satan who saved 50 after the shooting. To a lot of people, that sounded like he wished 50 hadn't survived.
Maybe Satan saved him, because he's a great engine of chaos. I don't think God would save somebody who moves like that. Everything you think of 50 is just negative. He's just an engine of negativity, beef, chaos.
But whether or not Irv was directly involved in the shooting, one thing was clear. 50 wasn't going to let it slide. After recovering, he came back with a vengeance. He didn't just go after Irv Gotti personally. He went after Inc. as a whole and practically dismantled the entire organization. And by the time the dust settled, it was clear who came out on top. Today, 50 is a massive mogul, while Irv Gotti's influence has significantly faded. There's a lot more to unpack. So let's dive in and break it all down. Now, according to Chris Gotti, Irv Gotti's brother, the whole feud between 50 Cent and Inc. might have started over something as small as a perceived snub at a party. Back in the day, Inc. was shooting the music video for Ja Rule's Murder for Life. Afterward, they threw a party in Queens, and 50 Cent, who was still pretty unknown at the time, was invited because he was familiar with some of the Inc's crew.
We had a party at Amazura in Queens, and 50 knows Black Child, he knows Caddy, was invited to come.
Chris claims that during the party, 50 greeted Ja Rule, and while Ja responded, he didn't exactly go out of his way to make a big deal of it. Chris thinks that's where the beef started. He believes 50 didn't like the way Ja reacted and took it as a slight. After that, Chris says, 50 began throwing disses their way.
50 comes in the back, says what's up again, and I guess he didn't get enough conversation from Rule. Rule just said what's up and kept moving. I think he wanted to talk to him some more than he did or whatever, and was probably a little pissed off or something. And then that's shortly after that is when he started doing little mixtapes or underground records.
But that's just one version of events, and honestly, not many people buy it. Both Ja Rule and 50 Cent have shared different stories about how things really went down. According to 50, the feud began after his friend Troy robbed Ja Rule. Later, when Ja and 50 bumped into each other at a club, 50 tried to clear the air, but Ja assumed 50 had something to do with the robbery.
A friend of mine's robbed Ja Rule. And I'm in a club, and I see the nigga, I'm like, hey, what's up? He see me kicking it with the robbed him, and he feel like, oh shit, I shouldn't speak to this dude, because I know the kid robbed him. But I know this kid, I grew up with him.
That misunderstanding lit the spark, and soon enough, the two were trading disses back and forth. Once the beef started heating up, of course, Irv Gotti felt the need to step in and defend his artist, Ja Rule. Inc. was already a powerhouse in the industry at that time, and 50 Cent was still an up-and-comer trying to make his mark.
That's a fact. We can't front. We let's not front like Murder Inc. wasn't strong, boy. Murder Inc. was strong, boy.
They probably thought they could crush him with little effort. Spoiler alert, they were dead wrong. Irv Gotti took things to extreme lengths to try to shut 50 down. For instance, Irv admitted to blackballing 50 from getting signed by major record labels. He used his connections and influence to keep 50 out of the industry, trying to block him at every turn.
Nah, I want y'all to tell me at the end of all of this, is 50 Cent wrong for feeling the way he feel? Not if you're wrong for feeling how you feel about Irv, because it's not about you. I'm talking about, is 50 Cent wrong for feeling how you feel? Make sure y'all leave that in the comment section. Leave that in the comments.
Blocked it till he fell into M and Dre's lap.
Damn. Are you serious?
Yeah, labels would call me. So I was like, yo, if you fuck with him, I ain't fuck with you. And they were like, man, got it, forget it.
But despite all of that, 50 proved to be unstoppable. Not only did he survive the attempts to bury him, but he flipped the script entirely. He became a global sensation, dropping hit albums and starting lucrative businesses. He didn't just win the beef, he crushed Murder Inc.'s entire empire. Today, 50 is a household name, known for everything, while Irv Gotti and co. struggle to stay relevant. Nowadays, it seems like Irv is still salty about how things turned out. He's constantly popping up in interviews, trying to rewrite history. One minute, he's claiming he's at peace and full of love, and the next, he's throwing shade and bashing 50 all over again.
I'm a happy guy. I have a beautiful family. I'm the youngest of 8 kids. It is nothing but love. I got like 16 nieces and nephews.
The guy who's proclaiming to be the roughest, toughest Don Dada bully, you got beat up and poked up and you ran to the precinct and pressed charges on us.
Fans have called him out for being two-faced, and many argue that they don't blame 50 for still clapping back. After all, if someone spent years sabotaging you and even tried to end your life, would you just let it go? Now let's dig deeper into the details of this legendary feud. So 50 Cent started making small-time media appearances, letting everyone know he was coming for Ja Rule. Around this time, Ja began to acknowledge 50 Cent publicly, but only to dismiss him as someone who was just trying to get attention. But 50 wasn't backing down. He doubled down on the disrespect, clapping back in interviews and reiterating that Ja Rule was a fraud who couldn't touch his street credentials. As the talking in the streets continued, tensions between the two eventually boiled over. Both rappers were booked to play the same venue in Atlanta, and they ended up running into each other at a hotel. What followed was a tense verbal confrontation, with Ja Rule expressing how pissed he was about 50's diss track. But here's where things got wild. Ja Rule was holding a baseball bat during this confrontation, which he had apparently brought out on stage earlier. As the situation escalated, 50 Cent decided he wasn't about to let Ja swing that bat. Before Ja could make a move, 50 sucker punched him right in the face, and a scuffle broke out between their crews, causing everyone to scatter. Now, this is where the stories start to diverge. According to Ja Rule, 50 Cent started clout chasing after the fight, telling everyone that he had snatched Ja's chain. Ja denied this, claiming that both he and 50 dropped their chains during the scuffle, with some people saying 50's crew picked up Ja's chain.
I had the chain. Go in the hotel, he showed me the chain. Marquise had it, everybody, his son had it, everybody.
Ja Rule's chain.
Yeah, it was just getting passed around in the hood.
Their next major run-in was the Hit Factory studio saga, where chaos ensued with 50 getting scratched by a kitchen knife. Unfortunately, some other, less gangster, more professional individuals were also in the studio working with G-Unit and ended up getting injured in the chaos. One of these non-G-Unit folks ended up filing a police report, which led to Black Child being arrested for the stabbings. As a result, the NYPD issued an order of protection against anyone involved, forcing Murder Inc. to stay away from 50 Cent and his associates. This document would later become a key piece in the ongoing beef, with Ja Rule and others using it as so-called proof that 50 Cent had snitched on them. But as serious as things were getting with Ja Rule and Murder Inc., the streets were becoming even more dangerous for 50 Cent. At this point, 50 was starting to build a buzz in the hood with his music, especially after dropping the track How to Rob with the Mad Rapper in mid-1999. This tongue-in-cheek track saw 50 Cent jokingly naming big rappers in the industry, saying he was going to rob them. Naturally, dissing the entire rap game didn't sit well with everyone, but it did earn 50 some clout. Behind the scenes, though, some people in the industry were getting upset, and by the year 2000, 50 clearly had a taste for gaining clout by airing out people's dirty laundry. After How to Rob, 50 decided to take things even further by dropping another track, this time naming a bunch of gangsters he knew from the streets of New York, including Kenneth Supreme McGriff, the same guy who had helped Ja Rule get his chain back. In early 2000, 50's song Ghetto Corin started making the rounds in the streets of New York, and that's when things really began to turn against him.
Fear Prince and respect the Supreme. Boy, you slow mother, I'ma break it down illa. Supreme was the businessman and Prince was the
things escalated to a whole new level when, allegedly, someone from Supreme's crew was dispatched to handle 50 Cent once and for all. On May 24, 2000, 50 Cent was famously shot 9 times outside his grandmother's house but miraculously survived. Things were looking bleak for 50 Cent after he got shot. He was seriously injured, out of commission, and completely blacklisted from the rap game. Picture this. 50 is laid up in a hospital bed, barely hanging on, stewing in rage, and getting hungrier for revenge by the day. He was stuck on the sidelines, unable to make moves, while Ja Rule and Irv Gotti, his biggest enemies, were out there living their best lives. With 50 Cent out of the picture, Ja Rule was on fire, going on the chart run of a lifetime, racking...
Now, actually, can you blame 50 for his reaction to Irv being on life support? The rumors, because it's rumors, nothing has been confirmed yet. But where there's smoke, it's definitely fire, guys.
Up Grammy nominations and dominating the airwaves. By the time 2002 rolled around, Ja Rule was everywhere, and 50 Cent was nowhere to be found. But what Ja Rule and Irv Gotti didn't know was that 50 was lurking in the shadows, sharpening his pen and sword, just biding his time, plotting the biggest comeback the rap game had ever seen. After getting shot and blacklisted, 50 Cent was persona non grata in the industry. Nobody wanted to touch him. In fact, the situation was so bad that he had to go all the way to Canada just to find a studio that would let him record. Up there, away from all the drama, 50 Cent started laying the groundwork for his comeback. He recorded dozens of tracks, planning every move carefully. The first song he dropped after getting shot was appropriately titled "Feud." It was part of his mixtape Guess Who's Back, which was a mix of old and new tracks that he distributed on his own. On that tape, 50 wasn't holding back. He directly addressed the shooting, even speculating by name who might have been behind it. Now, as far as Ja Rule, Irv Gotti, and Supreme were concerned, 50 Cent was done for. They thought they'd buried him, and in their minds, he was no longer a threat. So when 50's comeback mixtape didn't make a huge splash right away, Ja Rule wasn't worried. But what Ja Rule didn't anticipate was that someone else in the industry was about to stumble across 50's tape and change everything. In 2002, 50 Cent's lawyer sent a copy of Guess Who's Back to Eminem's manager, Paul Rosenberg. And apparently when M heard it, he was blown away. Without wasting any time, Eminem flew 50 out to LA to work with him and Dr. Dre. And, well, the rest is history, as they say. That trip changed everything for 50. He ended up signing a $1 million deal with Eminem and Dr. Dre, officially joining the Interscope and Shady Records family. From that point on, 50 Cent was getting heavily mentored by two of the biggest names in the game, and they helped him craft his debut album, a true masterpiece. But before they got too deep into the process, Eminem and Dr. Dre sat 50 down for a real talk, man to man. They told him to stay focused and avoid getting into beef with Ja Rule, a conversation that M would later reference in his song Like Toy Soldiers. But 50 being 50, he couldn't just let it slide. So he started throwing subliminal shots at Ja Rule, just little jabs here and there. And naturally, Ja Rule and Murder Inc. didn't take it lying down. They started dissing 50 right back, spreading stories about how he got stabbed at the Hit Factory and filed an order of protection afterward. They tried to spin it like 50 was a full-blown snitch, saying he specifically asked for a restraining order against Ja Rule and Irv Gotti.
It wasn't nothing crazy. It was nothing big. It was just a little scuffle. It was nothing big.
Yes, sir.
But he felt the need, to go to the cops and press charges. Jackson, that as a result of the above described conduct, informant suffered lacerations. Informant, y'all. Informant suffered.
This whole coordinated smear campaign drove 50 Cent straight into battle mode, and he responded by dropping some of the hardest diss tracks aimed at Ja Rule, including Wanksta and I Smell P. At this point, Eminem and Dr. Dre were cool with it. They were on board with 50 going after Ja. And then, in January 2003, things took a drastic turn for the worse for Ja Rule and Irv Gotti, and it felt like the universe had flipped on them overnight. First came 50 Cent's Inda Club, a song that changed the game entirely. This wasn't just another rap hit, it was a cultural moment. The track shot straight to the top of the Billboard charts and stayed there, becoming the hottest song on the planet. It was so massive that it earned 2 Grammy nominations, and everyone, from diehard rap fans to suburban kids who had never even heard of G-Unit, was bumping it. For 50, it was...
That's a fact, yo. That was a fact.
was a career-defining moment. But for Murder Inc., it was like the first domino in a series of disasters that would soon follow. Just as In-Day Club was dominating the airwaves, the feds showed up at Murder Inc.'s doorstep, kicking the door down. Their offices were raided as part of a massive investigation trying to link Irv and Chris Gotti to Kenneth Supreme McGriff, who had just been arrested while on the run. The government was trying to paint Inc. as more than a music label. They wanted to prove it was a front for criminal activity. Suddenly, Irv and Chris found themselves in the fight of their lives, accused of laundering drug money for Supreme. On top of that, they were dragged into a much darker narrative, the attempt on 50 Cent's life. According to court testimony, Supreme McGriff himself bragged about being behind the hit. A former McGriff associate, John Reagan, took the stand and shared chilling details about the attack. He described how McGriff and his team of shooters met up after the ambush, assuming 50 was dead. Supreme said, "I got him," Rogan testified. At first, Rogan didn't even know who McGriff was talking about, but then McGriff explained it was 50 Cent. He had been hit so many times, and there was so much blood, they were convinced there was no way he could survive. Rogan went on to describe how McGriff talked about 50 squirming and trying to shield himself from the bullets with his hands. Meanwhile, the authorities were trying to tie the Gotti brothers to the shooting as well. They claimed there were text messages flying between Irv, Chris, McGriff, and their associates within half an hour of the attack. It wasn't looking good for the Gottis, who were also being accused of knowingly laundering McGriff's dirty money through Murder Inc.
Exactly, guys. So you feel sorry for Irv, you know what I mean? I'm gonna feel sorry for Irv too, sad for Irv, put your prayers up for Irv, but don't be mad at 50 because 50 not feeling sorry for him. Can't be mad at people because they don't feel how you feel.
With all his assets frozen and his reputation in tatters, McGriff couldn't even afford a proper lawyer and ended up with a court-appointed attorney. In 2007, he was sentenced to life in prison. Irv and Chris Gotti managed to avoid prison time, but their label was never the same. The federal investigation, coupled with 50 Cent's meteoric rise, effectively brought Murder Inc. to its knees. 50 Cent definitely got the last laugh in this beef, but honestly, when doesn't he?
That's a whole fact right there, man. But it's tough, man. That's sad, yo. We losing our icons, right? We losing our icons left and right. It's like they young. It's like they not getting older. Like back in the days, right? We seen people be old. We seen the celebrities get to be so old. Our icons, they dropping like flies, bro. Y'all got to get healthy spiritually and physically, mentally too, guys. We got to touch on all three areas of health, mentally, physically, you know what I mean, and emotionally. We got to get healthy, guys, because we dropping like flies, man. And that's our show for today, yo. So for those of y'all that missed it, we just going to play the clip that we went over today. Irv Gotti is allegedly, he's sick. He not doing so good. He day to day.
I'm switching gears here. This is a sadder story, or it's a report. This is so right now there are rumors and alleged reports circulating that Irv Gotti, who I know is a friend to the room, is currently on life support. Now, this, from what is being alleged, is because of a stroke that he had that left him on the life support situation. And there have been a couple people that have just spoke out and just are sending him prayers right now. We don't have details. We don't have confirmation of anything, but we do know that Russell Simmons posted and talked about, he spoke to Irv not too long ago and gave him the number to a person that he wanted him to talk to about his health. He agreed that he needed the attention. He promised that he would come over to the resort
Bali.
Yeah, to Bali, where Russell Simmons is, and a lot of people go there for health and wellness and undergo some tests and begin natural and medical treatments. So he said that I promised him if he came that he would, get better. So obviously Irv has been dealing with some stuff, and we know that the last time we saw him, it was when he was, walking on that cane, and there were reports about a stroke then. So Russell Simmons and a few other people are sending some love. We're sending love and just, praying for the best.
Absolutely, man. Take care of yourself, people.
And we was talking, me and Charlamagne was talking, he's Irv is one of those ones, Mike Geronimo, Ja Rule, Ashanti, DMX. He was the one that helped DMX in his career. Even Jay-Z helped Jay in his career when he was needed. Produced Can I Live? So he's definitely one of those ones. Started off with DJ. Yeah, he sure did. DJ from Queens, DJ Irv. So definitely
all the prayer warriors
to
gather around and send it up for him.
Absolutely. All right. Well,
Facts, guys. All right, y'all be good. I'll see y'all around. I'll probably be going live later on the Brutally Honest Goodbread channel. But y'all be safe, guys. If anything else pop up on this, you know we gonna cover it. So let's take it to the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out, guys.
Just the average tough to be a black man when a man's pride is taking care of his family, providing food for the table, providing a great environment, a nice place to live, and suddenly someone says, you can't do that anymore. That's heartbreaking. It's very tough for a black man to become successful in a country that didn't give him the proper tools of education to deal with once he left that school place. It is very tough. Where we are headed, only God knows where we're headed. I don't have a crystal ball, Jay. I can tell you this. I hope that black men all over America realizes that the game outside is tough. It is very, very cold. It is very hard, but that game is not impossible to win.